We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
Massive, giant quantum.
Fire other insiders and give them the courage and the hope they need to make, are you willing to risk everything to try to save this country? And I'm hoping that by me coming forward and doing the best I can and for surviving as long as I can, I will inspire other insiders and give them the courage and the hope they need to make that decision as well and see if we can't start making some progress against this thing.
It's important to understand what the 5G is doing and what they say it's doing. We're told on the IEEE beamforming document that this technology cooked your eyes like eggs in World
voice-to-skull, hive mind behavior manipulation technology.
And you all need to understand these are military weapons. These are assault frequencies.
The true control grid is this technology.
If you garner nothing more than that, that's what you need to know. It's microwave radiation warfare, is what this is.
Supercomputer software programming will manipulate the emotions and behavior and the thoughts of everybody in the United States of America. And it can all be done remotely. It's very much like the microchip kind of tracking the New World Order, this entire, control grid that's supposed to be rolled out against the American people someday. And I'm here to tell you that it's already here.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
The goal of creating artificial intelligence was for them to become gods, to create a collective mind, a global computer that sees all, sees everything, to create an all-seeing eye.
In 2007, the Register reported that the Pentagon was developing a parallel to planet Earth with billions of individual nodes to reflect every man, woman, and child on the planet, blurring the lines between reality and artificial reality. It is called the Sentient World Simulation, a neural network with massive computing power.
We're all collectively programming the AI and Google plus all the humans that connect to it are one giant cybernetic collective where we're all sort of plugged in as like nodes on the network, like leaves on a big tree.
And we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures, a human mass-machine interface, dial it into all the other machines and computers, and have a lifetime model of the world hooked into GPS everything, the Internet of Things, to then be able to predict the future and then be able to control the future.
We have to embody all our data and all our knowledge into a working model. It's like a Noah's Ark, it's like an archive. So the way we're going to do that is to build a kind of Microsoft for the brain, or Google for the brain, where we're going to bring all the information that we have ever accumulated on the brain and bring it, upload it into this environment, organize it, and then we're going to develop algorithms that connect all of this data. We'll be able to start exploring and get inside the brain. You see, today I cannot get inside your brain to see how it works. I can measure it from the outside, but I can't get inside and look at what you see. But with this, you'll be able to step inside a brain and look at how it builds a world. The brain.
So, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the spokesman, Klaus Schwab, they're warning about a cyber pandemic, which would make the COVID pandemic look like a mere disturbance. In other words, it wouldn't shine light to this coming cyber pandemic. And when this cyber pandemic comes, it will shut down everything you know, everything digital, for a period of time. And when that comes back on, when the cyber comes back on, it will be totally different from what you know. It will be totally different from what you know, because the clip you're watching now, this is the new way of technology they're going. So for them to establish this new way, they have to kind of like bring in a radical change, and that radical change will happen by the way of the cyber pandemic, the total blackout, right? You won't be able to access the internet or do whatever it is that has to do with digital way, right? And then when they bring it back on, it will be, you will need to have access to it. And for you to have access to it, you have to have a digital identification. And if they want to get in your head, like you see this guy talking about trying to get in people's head, if they want to be able to get in your head, they will do so. A lot of people, they've gotten a lot of people hooked on phonics, so to speak. They've gotten a lot of people hooked on social media and everything, internet, cyber, all of that, right? I saw a clip where some dude was saying that how Wi-Fi is addictive. Imagine that. So they've gotten us hooked on all this technological things. So when they take it away and bring it back on, a lot of people will be in the withdrawal stage, because there are individuals out there that are addicted to that rush they get from the likes and from the admiration of people they don't even know on social media and whatnots, right? And people that make money through that thing, right? The so-called influencers and things like that. You see? So they've gotten people hooked on it. And it was done by design. So when they take it away from you, and just like a junkie, you go into that withdrawal stage. And a lot of people won't be able to handle it. So when they bring it back on, you will do anything to get back in. That's where they will hit you with the social credit score system. So for you to get back on, you have to be obedient to the powers that shouldn't be. You have to be totally in subjection of whatever it is that they want you to do. Or not, they will take it all away. Just like that. Before we go any further, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachahakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all your brothers and sisters out there, all of the household of faith, beginning with 144,000 mighty men of the house of Israel, down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in this latter days, who are of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty. To you all, I say shalom. Right? And you see what is happening on the world stage right now with all the rioting and all the protesting. Well, it is all interconnected. Everything going on is playing a role to this controlled societal demolition, right? They're purposefully collapsing every aspect of the society because they need this new way of living to be erected, to be established. You see? And you have to understand this and what it entails for you. So at the beginning of this clip here, they were talking about how the dangers of all this technology that is being instituted all around us, that's being erected all around us from the 5G and all and what have yous. And this will be the new way of warfare, right? There'll be no more people just rioting. They have National Guard and they will use technology to fight you, right? They will use directed energy weapons. They will use robots. They will use all this 5Gs and things and cook you from inside out. You see, that is where we're going. So imagine a war like that, to break you down to the point where you don't know where, you can't even see the invisible enemy, right? You can't see them. You don't know where they're coming from, but you're being attacked. Ultimately, they're trying to get in your head. They want to get in your head. They want to control your head, control your thoughts. It's not enough that they have to put on all kinds of propaganda and misinformation and disinformation and all the mainstream news media lies. It's no longer enough because they have alternative news medias and people out there that are combating the disinformation of the mainstream news media. So So for them to totally lock it down, they have to get in your head. They need to get in your head.
Creates, builds a version of the universe and projects this version of the universe like a bubble all around us.
We want to be able to use those parallel universes to compute things that then come back and affect us and answer questions in ours. We want to grab those parallel realities from this abstract space in which they live and crunch them down into this chip.
And you start thinking about us being the qubits in some massive giant quantum computing simulation. It's almost as if they're either trying to harness or to recreate what is commonly referred to as a collective consciousness.
And in conventional computing, in software, these things are often called neural nets. We have a hardware version up in our head. It's called our brain. The chips that we build are architected like neural nets. There are hardware versions of neural nets.
They can literally plug you into the internet, which is just to give you a very simple way of understanding that. And what that scientist there is describing there is the hive mind. Now, if people think this is somehow sci-fi or conspiracy theory, they're absolutely wrong and they're way behind this, because this is here now, it's been done, it's been done in experiments, and it's been proven to work. And this is the technology, this is the first phase of technology that's going to come after the kind of AI goggles, the kind of Google virtual world stuff. After that is coming this stuff, and this is going to come in a lot sooner than you think, and quite frankly, it terrifies me.
Everything connected to the internet will be connected to the mirror world, and anything connected to the mirror world will see and be seen by everything else in this interconnected environment.
This was a white paper put out by Purdue University in 2006, and the Sentient World Simulation, SWS, went live in 2007, which represents every person on the planet within this computer matrix as a node, and every node is given an avatar, an identifier. And that is real-time, 24/7 monitoring of every person on the planet.
What does it take to actually lock onto a target? Do they have to decode somebody's energy signature? How exactly does that work?
Yeah, you're asking great questions, and I gotta be careful what I say, but the person's brain print, their particular energy signature, just like a thumbprint or something like that, needs to be collected before the long process of retraining the brain to listen to a computer.
The way it works is a device broadcasts a radio frequency, let's say at an individual, and that radio frequency will hook up with the resonant frequency of the individual's mind or body, or in this case, DNA.
And they do this by contracting with labs like LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics, etc., who provide lab services for employers who are doing massive amounts of drug tests and blood tests, and also the involvement of sperm banks was mentioned in some of the information I saw working for my company. These are perfect ways to acquire an individual's DNA, build a DNA profile on them, and then this information, the DNA of the individual, is used to determine the resonant frequency of the DNA itself. The resonant frequency is then used to fine-tune the technology, the radio frequency signals, the microwave auditory effect, and all the other aspects of the technology to tune it perfectly to the resonant frequency of the targeted individual's DNA. This is one of the reasons why many targeted individuals believe that there are nanotechnology, nanobots inside of their body. Smart dust, things of this nature, nanofibers that completely fill the target's body. And based on some of the scientific papers that I've seen written on this is possible and it is going on. But it is a lower form of the technology. It is a less advanced form of the technology. The true holy grail in terms of this technology is DNA resonant frequency. It taps right into the DNA, and it does it remotely by resonating with the exact frequency that your DNA resonates.
In an internal memo.
And if you took the juice, if you know what I mean, if you took the, the thing that they put inside a lot of people over the past, 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now, guess what? You have this technology in you. This technology, this nano, that is targeting your DNA, rewriting and doing all kinds of stuff inside of you. Believe you me, you have that. And not only the people that took the juice, but also the people that didn't take the juice, the unjuiced, if you will. They also have this technology inside of them. Why? Well, it goes back to the aerosol spray that they're spraying in form of geoengineering, chemtrails or whatever, right? They have that technology also, like this guy said, is in a more lower frequency, like not like the heavy duty tech. It's just right, but in some way, some form, it is in you, and it's doing something to you. A lot of you can feel the effects, but you don't understand what it is that's going on inside of you. So this is the times we're in. We're in some crazy times with all this crazy technology that's being developed, right? And it's never for your own good. It's never for anybody's good. All this technological advancement, the more technology advances, the more restricted we become, the more controlled we become, the more diseased we become, the more jacked up we become, right? It's going to get hectic. That's like you heard Klaus Schwab going into telling you how it's going to be a potential cyber pandemic. And what do you think that is going to bring? It will bring about a screeching halt of the current society, the current world we live in. There will be no food coming in, trucks coming in and going out. There will be nothing. There will be no industrial age, nothing will be happening but utter chaos. So with all the protesting, all the rioting that is going in, this is a precursor to the main event, and that main event is going to be very hectic. You will need divine protection to be able to deal with the main event, which brings us here in the book of Daniel, the 12th and the 12th chapter and the first verse. It says the time of the end. So that's exactly what we are witnessing. We are witnessing the time of the end, where everything, it boils down to, are you of the righteous or are you of the wicked? Because if you are of the wicked, you will be judged harshly, right? But if you are of the righteous, guess what? You will go through some serious times, some serious tribulations, and eventually you will be delivered if you are of the elect. And can prove that through the scriptures. In the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, the first verse, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble." This is exactly what we are seeing. This time of trouble is just going to escalate to an exponential rate where it will be total chaos out there, right? People just at each other's throats. It gets so bad that people take a life with a Twinkie. That's how bad it's going to get. It will get so bad, it'll be like Mad Max. So all this predictive programming type movies they've been making over the years, the Mad Maxes and The Road and I Am Legend and, The Walking Dead, all these movies and TV shows that kind of hints to a apocalyptic type future, which we are almost there. You can feel it in the air. So that's what the time of trouble is, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time, even to that same time. So it's telling you that the kind of trouble we're about to face, there's never been anything like it. Not even during the flood, where the whole planet was flooded out, only 8 people made it. 8 people were the animals that were saved, right? They're the only ones that made it. Even the times we're going to will rival that, That's how crazy it's going to get. So you need to understand these things. You can call it fear mongering. Yeah, you should be afraid. Can you imagine a time that is crazier than World War I, World War II combined? Time that is crazier than during the flood. All the crazy stuff that's happened on the planet, there's nothing like it. The times we're about to face. So yeah, you should be afraid, because that fear will get you to do something. And what is that? Well, to seek the Lord. It says, such as was never since there was a nation, even at the same time, and at that time that people shall be delivered. So like I said earlier, if you're part of the elect, you will be delivered, but if you are of the wicked, you will be judged harshly. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. What book? Well, the book of life. That's where the elect's name are. It goes on to say, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever, going into the reward of you being a righteous soul. Right? Not only are you a righteous soul, but you help others get in their righteous spirit. There's a reward for that. Right? It goes on to say, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So this is why we know we are at the time of the end. Why? Because knowledge has increased. The clip we're just watching is telling you how men are trying to use technology to do the unthinkable. That is a knowledge being increased to create a hive mind of people. That has never happened before, right? It's a technology to get in your head. It's a technology to do all kinds of shady, crazy stuff. That is a knowledge increasing. You see? This is why you have to move accordingly, right? With all this happening, if it makes you afraid, well, you should be afraid. And you have only one course of action to take, which is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, and the first verse. It says here, remember God in your youth. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So if you're afraid, yeah, well, seek the Lord. Seek Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua 10 times more, because that's the only hope we got against this onslaught of technocrats with all their inventions, crazy inventions that they can't wait to rule the world with. You see, and they don't care about the harm they cause with this inventions of theirs, right? It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, going into the wisdom and the understanding from the word of the Lord, there's going to come a time you won't see anybody talking about the word of the Lord. It will be taken away. Now the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Who are the keepers of the house? Well, going into the economists. Put watch how the economy of a nation is happening. A lot of them are telling you that, man, they don't see any future for America. They don't see any future for the world, for that matter, because we are now living in a global economy, if you will, which are all done by design. So one major economy collapses, it affects every other economy in one way or another, right? So the keepers of the house, the people, the forecasters are looking at the way things are going. They're telling you, man, they don't see no future. The future looks grim, right? It says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, no more jobs. That's what the grinders are. A lot of people are losing their jobs, right? Crying how they can't afford to do this because there's no way, they don't have any job. They're not getting paid. Very soon they will be homeless. There's countless of videos out there, people on social media just crying their eyes out, talking about how hard they're getting it now. You see? Well, it's all biblical prophecy being played out. It says, and the grinders cease because they have few jobs. and those that look out the windows be darkened. So your forecasters trying to look and see what the future holds, they don't see anything but doom and gloom. That's why you heard Klaus Schwab telling you to look forward to a potential cyber pandemic that will bring a screeching halt to everything. That is that doom and gloom, the windows being darkened. There's no hope for the future. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Martial laws, the siege, all craziness out there, man. You know, won't be allowed to go anywhere because it is utter chaos, lawlessness, anarchy, insurrections. You see, seditions, all kinds of crazy stuff going down. It says, and the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, you can't even enjoy music anymore these days because it's all bull crap. You know, you can't enjoy nothing. It's all been polluted. Let's close out with this real quick in the book of Matthew. In the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, in the 3rd verse, it says, and as he sat, he is our Lord Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? See that term again, the end of the world. Doesn't mean that that the world will blow up like a dark star or some shit, right? No, not like that. It's going into an end of an age, right? There will be a beginning of a new world. Is what it's talking about here. So it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. I mean, come on now. That's all we hear about. One happening with Gaza and with Iran and Israel and Ukraine and Russia. And I mean, it's crazy, right? This is where we are. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. It is a must, and we are seeing it. But the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, right? Warning and going out. Even the food we have, the farmers are telling you that they are under attack. There's been an orchestrated famine going on right now, right? There's an all-out attack on farmers. Why? Well, you control the food, you control the people. They're looking to starve you out to the point where you have no will to resist. And pestilence, what is that? All these diseases, all these pandemics, all this craziness out there is a new one now, they're saying, right? And earthquakes. We just had earlier this year, we had the earthquake that happened in Myanmar and in Thailand, right? Crazy earthquakes, man. Shook up the whole place. Buildings were just going down like it's nothing. It says in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So even when all this is going down, is the beginning of sorrows, meaning we haven't even gotten to the meat of the whole thing. Why? Because remember, we read earlier, there's no day, there's never been any time like the time we're about to face. So all these little things happening here and there, it doesn't even begin to shine light to when we really get into it. So it goes on to say, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. Well, that's that concentration camps, you know. Why would they do that? And shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So if you are one of those of the elects that believe in the name of our Lord and in his power and in his salvation and in his word, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, guess what? You got a target on your back. You see? It says, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. I mean, come on now. That's the state of the world right now. Hate. Nobody's getting along for nothing. It's all out war, and social media is not even making it any better. People are just at each other's throats, right? And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And boy, oh boy, the love of many has waxed cold. Every other day, people are killing each other off in the worst way possible. But the scriptures goes on to say, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, put the spirit on you to endure all this craziness you're all about to face and make it to the end. Guess what? You will be saved. It goes on to say, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And we are at that end. Our only hope is we are counted worthy to be delivered from all this craziness. And with that, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Chahakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.